I tell you guys, I just got through reporting a video about student debt relief. Student debt forgiveness under Joe Biden's plan, how the Supreme Court struck it down. And I went through all this stuff. I know all this stuff about student debt. Black kids are most impacted by it, how it hurts us. You know, how 40% of us don't even end up getting degrees. You know? And that, I don't know, about 50% of us, only about 50% of the students that get degrees feel that it helps them make more money. And then when you make more money or you get a job, doesn't mean you get a job as good as a white guy or a white woman or a Latino woman or an Asian woman, and it doesn't mean you make the same amount of money. And a lot of factors impact this. A lot of things lead to this, such as about 48% of black kids who go to school come from poverty-ridden areas, which means they don't have a tax base. Being from poverty doesn't mean you're a bad person. It means you don't have a tax base because the budget for the schools are based on the tax base of the people that live around the school. And if those people don't have money, then you don't have a well-funded school. If you don't have a well-funded school, you don't have a great gymnasium, but you also don't have a great lab or a computer lab. You don't have great books. And since you don't have the money, you can't employ the best teachers. So it's a cumulative effect of being black and being poor in America. This is what happens. Unless you are privileged, then you will struggle. Let's take this all in. About 48% of black kids from poverty backgrounds go to college. But white kids from the same type of background, poverty-ridden areas, only about 8% of them try to go to college. Because if you're white and you're broke, you don't have to go to college to make a decent living. Let's be clear, even black professionals, blacks who get bachelor's degrees, they end up with 2/3 the wealth of a white person who dropped out of school. Let me say that one more time. Even black people with a bachelor's degree end up making 2/3 or having 2/3 the wealth that white people end up with when they drop out of school. Don't even finish high school. So we need to be very clear about what's going on here. And I want to also, so I got 2 points. Even though I got all this information, let me tell you, man, I don't think Joe Biden ever had any intention of getting this done. Joe Biden did not mean to get this done. He didn't care. He said it because it sounded good. Debt forgiveness sounds like a good buzzword. It'll get the blacks excited. We'll get some of these progressives to shut the hell up and get off my ass. And it'll be a good thing to say on the campaign trail. We know Trump won't be saying it, so this is a good thing to say. Bernie was saying it, so Biden starts saying it. But Biden didn't mean it. And now, here we are, with it getting struck down in Congress or getting struck down in the Supreme Court, and we already knew that was going to happen because we got conservatives on the bench, so it's not a surprise. And why do I think that way about Joe Biden? Because Joe Biden is part of the reason why you can't get rid of college debt unless you die. That's right. If all your finances collapse and you're like, damn, I need to start over or I'm going to eat a bullet, I'm going to unalive myself, so let me file bankruptcy. Thanks to Joe Biden, you can't even discharge your college debt. You still owe college debt. That's Joe Biden. 2005, Joe Biden did that. He joined forces with Republicans in the Senate to pass Republican legislation that made it harder to file bankruptcy and also make it so you can't include your college debt in your bankruptcy. And the number of people, the number of money or the amount of money owed on college debt 10x'd the next 10 years because of that bill. Because of that new law passed because of Joe Biden. So based on that, I don't think that Joe Biden all of a sudden got a change of heart, that he had an epiphany. And all of a sudden, what he stood for 15 years ago, he no longer stands for. As I was going through all my information, I realized something. Black people default on school loans, like 40%, maybe more than 40%. You know the percentage of white kids that default on student loans? 12. So like all things in America, white folks, you need to understand this, white folks, the poor whites that watch my show, America's willing to sacrifice you just so it doesn't help black people. Because 40% of black people default. So why would they wipe it out? Only 12% of white people default. Those are the poor whites. Screw them. That's how America feels. America would have, once upon a time, college was affordable until black people started going to them. Once upon a time, college was affordable until black people started going to college. America doesn't want black people going to college. And if they go, they want them saddled with debt for the rest of their lives and in jobs that are dead end, that don't pay them as well as white folks, and last hired, first fired, the whole rigmarole. That's the deal. What does Joe Biden do about all this? He signs an executive order. He pulls that pen out, the one that's hard for him to find his ass a pen, and he signs an executive order. But Tim, what if they overturn it? Then they do. Then what does he do? He goes to Congress and he says, if you don't get this bill, I want a bill on my desk wiping out student debt. And if you don't do it, I'm getting rid of you. I'm going to camp out on your doorstep. I'm going to use all my powers at the DNC to have somebody run against you and get you out of your job. You don't do it publicly, you do it behind the scenes. That's how a lot of civil rights legislation got done. And that's what Joe Biden does. And believe me, student debt is such a ball around the ankle, a big wrecking ball around the ankle of black America, that he should look at it that way. See, in my opinion, we're not even going hard enough, because the truth is, black Americans vote for Democrats to the tune of over 90%. Over 90% of black Americans vote for Democrats, so black America should be able to make demands of the Democratic Party, and people that are not supporting those demands need to get gone. You need to look at people that tell you, if you ask Joe Biden for anything, if you demand of Joe Biden anything, that you are helping Republicans, you need to tell them to get off your timeline and to get out your life and to get on the other team, because they're already playing for the other team. So once you go ahead and change your jersey, because you're not on the side of black people. That's the truth. That's how I feel about it. It's based in fact, because when you vote for somebody, 90% of the time, you own them. But see, they're owned by their donors. And that's another thing. That brings me to my other point, folks. Got a lot of points. I'm tired of people thinking that this is just a Republican problem, that it's just Republicans who don't want you to get student debt relief. Neither do a lot of the Democrats. A lot of the Democrats take money from financial institutions, they take money from the banks, they take money from all these people making money off your debt. Do you realize the power of debt in America? Student debt is right up there with mortgage debt. It's mortgage, student, then medical. And you're going to always have a mortgage. They want to make it so that you always have student debt. And then they send out this bill of goods telling all the black people, you need to go to school if you want to make it like white people. And then we looked at Bill Cosby, and we looked at The Different World, and we looked at the other show that did the thing, and the other thing that did the thing. And we saw Beverly Hills 20, whatever, 100. We said, those white kids up there, they're going to have good lives. We need to be like them. We better go to school. And everybody thought the way for black people to cancel out discrimination and mitigate it was to go get a degree. And yeah, that's good if you're comparing black people to black people, but if you compare black people to white people, what did I tell you? Black person with a bachelor's degree still ain't as worthy as a high school dropout white kid burnout druggie. Because chances are that burnt out druggie white kid hippie asshole, both his parents didn't suck up life. One of them got life right. And he got a cousin that owns a business, or an uncle that owns a cannabis market or something, or they got some stocks and bonds or a trust, or there's a house down in the Carolinas or something. Okay, so that's the deal. So what I'm telling you is that Joe Biden, he can do an executive order, he can lean on the Congress, or he can go to his Secretary of the Department of Education, and say, damn it, I appointed you, get it done. And if you don't get it done, get out. I'll find me someone who will. And they can find a way to do it. The Supreme Court said Joe Biden didn't have the authority to wipe it out himself. And remember, he was not wiping it out. He's taking off 10 to 20 grand. You realize that people owe hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of student debt? But I know there's some people that would really benefit from this. I want you to look at it for what it is. Another thing to keep you voting for the Democrats, to keep you tied to the Democrats, and that's okay because you ain't got a lot of options, and I get it. I'm not even a person that tells you don't vote for them, but I gotta tell you, I must tell you, demand something of their asses. Demand something, and you should be demanding this. We got black kids trying to do something with their lives, trying not to be statistics. We're fighting uphill battles. They go to college because we told them to. And the teachers told them to, and everybody told them to. And you know what? They're coming back not even with degrees, but they're all coming back with debt. And we need to do something about it. And you should not take no for an answer. And you should demand that of your party, because that's your party. You voted for that guy. I didn't, but you did. So go demand something of his ass. All right. And if not, get rid of them. And look, and at the end of the day, if you say Republicans are going to come in and give us worse treatment or worse policies, what do you think Biden is? You think he's a Democrat? Seems like he's a Republican. He helped get this done. Cut the cap. Stop defending nonsense. We got to be involved. We got to make noise. We got to raise the roof on it. And we got to fight for it. And we got to hold them accountable. And we got to demand better. And that's the only way we're going to get anything out of these people. Because I'm trying to tell you, if it benefits black people, they have no incentive to do it. They have no urgency to do it. And the only way they would ever do it is if you bent their arm and threatened to break it off at the elbow. I'm Tim Black. You've been watching The Black Table. Tune into us live on Sundays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time when I'm joined by my beautiful Mrs. Black as my partner in crime on the show. So tune into that for a male and female perspective on issues. And ain't nobody going to lie to you on this show. Ain't nobody going to run interference for the Democrats. Ain't nobody gonna kiss Republicans or Democrats' ass on this show. So be here, Sunday at 7 p.m. Once again, my name is Tim Black, and you have been watching what?
The Black Table.
Tim Black's The Real Black Table streams Sundays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube and Facebook. Be there, family.